What's going on, guys? I am Ryan here with Michigan Storm Chasers. Going to give you guys the update in regards to today's severe expectations and potential outcomes. For those of you who cannot catch our live streams this morning or later on this afternoon, here is going to be a brief rundown. We'll try to keep this short and simple. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. SPC update here from the Storm Prediction Center. We do have a slight risk, level 2 out of 5, down there in yellow. That now encompasses pretty much the entire part of South Central Michigan from Mount Pleasant south. So areas like the Tri-Cities, Saginaw, Flint, Port Huron, Detroit, Benton Harbor, Grand Rapids, Lansing, anywhere in between. You guys are in the level 2 risk. That is the highest risk today. Outside that, to the north, we have a marginal level 1 out of 5 risk. So it's the lowest risk we can get, but still a risk nonetheless. All the way up through basically the entire state, minus the furthest 2 counties in the western UP. All right. Otherwise, live in Michigan, you're in a risk today. Hazards, number 1 concern today is going to be damaging winds. This is going to be your damaging wind map here on your screen now. We're going to see that level 2 risk down there where that slight risk is. It matches word for word. Area for area, should I say, excluding only the western part of the UP, but also northern. Should I say the slight risk is for South Central Michigan, but the risk for damaging winds does encompass the entire state, again, minus those 2 western counties in the UP. Highest risk there in yellow, lower risk up there in dark brownish red color. Secondary threat, large hail, would be highest further south and further west. In fact, there is a what we call a hatched area for hail sitting just off to our south and west here toward Benton Harbor. The hatch would indicate hail upwards of 2+ inches, so larger than golf ball, really, which is significant hail. But otherwise, the hail risk is extended all the way up to the UP as well, excluding only those 2 counties in western UP. Otherwise, the entire state is in a hail risk today. Now, also an update here from the SPC. There is a tornado risk in the entire lower peninsula today. I know there's a few areas here by like Manistee, Ludington area, then Monroe County as well that do not get colored. But this map here, if we zoom in to the bottom graph here, we're going to see a important text. Hatched area, the top of this probability of a tornado. So these maps are based on probabilities. Notice the line here underneath the probability of a tornado. It says within a 25-mile point. So that being said, if you're within a 25-mile point of the radius edge of this risk, which Monroe County would be, as well as the area here by Ludington, you technically are still within that risk for a tornado. So the entire lower peninsula here is in that risk for a tornado. Just because you live in Monroe County or by Ludington area, if you don't see yourself colored, you still have that risk today. It's a 25-mile point radius, and that is how these maps work. All right, so a bit confusing, I get it, but we're trying to communicate this the best we can to you guys. All right, so takeaway from this, all hazards are possible. Damaging winds, your main concern. Large hail, secondary concern. Low risk for a tornado. We still don't really have enough spin to get more warranted concern for a tornado, but we could still see some storm mergers where storms combine, and that can cause some funny stuff to happen, as well as lake breeze boundaries, outflow boundaries. Those mesoscale stuff that we cannot see and forecast this far in advance are going to have to come together to get a tornado to happen today. All right. Is it possible? Sure. Is it a huge threat? Not really. All right. Looking at the model today, we did look at it last night as well, or should I say, yeah, last night, 7 p.m. on our stream last night. We'll show you guys what we looked at yesterday and compare models. So really quickly here, we were expecting that line of storms up in the UP to develop. They never really came to fruition. We do have some storms ongoing this morning across the state, but nothing too major to be concerned about. As we get into the afternoon time frame, we expected a line of storms roughly from Mount Pleasant to Lansing around those areas to push southeastward. That's sort of still the expectation. But this morning's models, or should I jump forward here to the evening models that we did not go over? We were live with our subscribers, our members, our supporters, but we weren't live publicly. But the new update last night came in. We did have a potential here for this, what we call like a bow echo, to come on shore here on West Michigan, right around that 4 p.m. time frame. Now, jump to the latest model. We're seeing that these models are having a really hard time handling how today evolves. That bow echo no longer is there. We still have some development here down towards southern Michigan, but it doesn't look as scattered to widespread as what we've been looking at the past couple of model runs. Could that happen? Sure. The takeaway, though, is that should at some point convect storms, get storms up and going mid-afternoon, 3 to 4 p.m., maybe a little bit later on across south central Michigan. The environment today across pretty much the entire state is supportive of severe weather, so pay attention. The latest model here does show Southwest Michigan is in the highest coverage area. This is at 5 p.m. here. But notice as we get into the evening hours, we have pop-up storms. This is at 9 p.m. now. We have some storms going on over by Detroit, toward Kalamazoo, some down here in Lenawee, just across the border here in Elkhart, Angola, Indiana area. But notice we have this one cell up here that pops up. That is going to be one to watch here for a potential we're going to call round two. It shouldn't be too widespread with round two, but we are seeing signs that these pop-up storms up there would be in a good environment, perhaps a better environment with our better wind shear coming in later on the evening. So we have to watch that round two potential up in northern lower Michigan, perhaps central lower as well, if it traverses further south and maybe further east. So thumb area as well, getting in on that round two as well. That's one model. The other model we're going to show you guys real quickly here is the NAM3 model. And this is going to be a little bit more of what we're kind of think is going to happen. We're going to see these morning showers and storms work out, but then the additional development comes in roughly right around 4 p.m. here. We see this model try to form a broken line from the thumb of Michigan all the way back through Kalamazoo, back through Illinois. That's more of the expectation today. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. But the takeaway is that's going to be your main concern. 4 or 5 p.m. Watch for storms to pop up across south central Michigan. Those will have potential for all hazards. But also be aware, just in case that round two does come to fruition, just because models do hint at that happening and the environment up there is favorable. So basically, takeaway from the day, any storm that pops up today in the state between, we'll say, 3 p.m. onward, close to midnight, would have severe potential with it, but the main concern is going to be with that potential bow echo / line of storms that's going to develop there in south central Michigan between 4 and 5 p.m. or around that time frame. Okay. So with that being said, all hazards are still possible today. Damaging winds, main concern, large hail, secondary. Tornadoes are a low threat, but not zero. But we'll be watching it regardless. All right. We'll go live here at 10 a.m. You're probably going to see this video around, if not after 10 a.m. for most of you guys watching. We'll go live here for those of you who do not watch this video. Hopefully you guys are watching our live streams, but overall, live at 10 a.m. for an update briefing. And then also we'll be live for coverage with live chasers in the field, roughly 4 p.m. or so. We'll be live as soon as severe weather kicks off here in the state of Michigan. Stay tuned to the pages, guys. Appreciate your support. Like and subscribe to the channel. It is free to do, and it helps us out tremendously as the best way to support us here at Michigan Storm Chasers for free. All right. You guys have a brilliant day. I'll see you guys later on this afternoon and evening on our live coverage of severe weather today.